Nia soto shumaria ila kaniato kolia kashoma seti kila kaniana kalia kora poshona tela ala kina maria soto ashana sala kila kolia ala laniala. Good evening, good day, good morning, good love, good light, whenever, wherever you are. No matter what the day, it is always now. So no matter what date it is, what moment this is that you come across this message, always know it is in your perfect timing. And speaking of perfect timing, I wanted to thank all of you for being with me in this now, and to all of you who overnight subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much. I wanted to send out a divine grace and gratitude shout out thank you to Aluna Ash for sharing my video from her channel, and so many of you that have related to these messages, these light languages, the information that brought us together yesterday. Thank you so much. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Wendy Wolfe. I have been speaking Galactic light languages for about a little over 4 years, I think it is now. And I began channeling, connecting to the animal collectives. I started channeling the Elohim and a collective of beings that came to me, and they represented themselves as the emissaries of the light collective and explained to me that they had connected with me through, I guess, the teachers of the teachers, that whole soul family of teachers, and explained to me that it was also their highest joy and excitement that they represent all the realms, all the dimensions, and are representing different races of beings, angelics, the L, all of the L races, all of the dimensions and frequencies in between. Mushato, from the moment of source, is the way they explained it to me, from before language began, before when we as light, we as mirrors of God, as they came to me and said, we are Ileana, the Elohim, we are the reflections of God. You are a reflection of source. We are reflections of source. Excuse me. And that we, like you, are here to share our perspectives of how we ascended, of how we are watching you ascend, and how we are here to support you and have always been. And I've always been connected to my angels. I've always believed that I could actually connect with the elements, the trees, the nature spirits, those in my family that have passed on. And when I first found other channelers and other people like myself who started speaking light languages, I immediately, something connected. And part of what helped me connect was when I found Bashar, the channeler, channeled the entity from the Shakani race, channeled through, his name is Bashar, channeled through Daryl Anka. For those of you who are not familiar, he's widely known, bashar.org. You can find all of his work there. And one of the things that activated me were these symbols that he had brought through from Sirius. And originally, the question was asked to me, actually, what the intention was with the symbols and how they came to be. And actually, when I first saw them many, many years ago through a Bashar event where Daryl was channeling, and these were brought, and I don't even remember exactly the name of the event. It may have actually been the Sacred Circuits, Syrian Sacred Circuitry. I'd have to do a little bit more research because it's been so long. And it wasn't even the full event. It was just a piece of event that somebody had posted. And for some reason, I immediately, all those years ago, wrote them all in this leather-bound journal that became the day that this became the recordings of my own ascension process and meeting all of these beings and coming more aware. And
so since the time I started this channel, I have recorded probably, I know it's over 1,130 videos. Those include channelings, light language activations, guided messages from various collectives, animal collectives, other races, other star families, my star families, hybrid children, of live events that I've done and other groups of channeling communities that I've been involved with, where I came upon these light languages through various other channelers, of which I have several playlists of several of the other of all of the other people who have been instrumental in my own growth process. So I've got a playlist of Languages of Lights for anybody who wants to just go there and just let it play. And there's chakra activations. There's all of these ways that I have experienced and expressed my highest excitement in when I first started all of this, which was outside in the elements, because it was in January, where I lived in the northern suburbs of Chicago here in the United States. So, and I wanted to say too to all of you that if you're not seeing these messages on the day I'm recording them, it's okay, because again, everything is now. And when you see it, it's when you need to see it in exactly your perfect timing, regardless of the date. It just happens to be the date I'm recording it and expressing this information as I'm receiving it from my guides as I meditate. And as the years have progressed and the information's been coming through more and more readily and fluently and fluidly, more and more people have related to this information and wanted me to and have asked me, can I share this? Do I do private sessions? And so I did begin several years ago doing private sessions, and have recently compiled a new website, languagesoflights.com, in which I've compiled services. It's actually a work in process. I'm in the process of adding all kinds of new things all the time. And so I'm building up these services and sessions based upon what people have asked for and things that they're interested in, and how we can relate to each other. And one of the absolute top priority for me was expressing how I relate to the light languages, to the earth, to Gaia, I actually can speak with her. These languages, if you're unfamiliar with light languages, are universal languages of source of all that is. They can be symbols of races, star beings, star systems. One symbol can contain a whole Akashic record of a particular star system. I also write, scribe, hand sign, sing, speak light languages. And as I do, each of these beings I connect with offer their perspectives. So it's almost like this fluid conscious channeling state of which I can go further, deeper. It's as if I'm always present, but yet there are times when, always actually, when I don't actually remember much of anything that I've said. When I'm more conscious channeling, I will remember a lot of what I've shared, but quite honestly, I really don't remember a lot of the details, and I'll often have to even go back and look back at the comments and what the videos were about, just so I can remember. However, also sometimes I'll listen to one that I haven't heard for a while, or I'll listen to one when I'm uploading it, and I begin to cry because of how I'm relating, because the information isn't just for everybody else. It's also for me, by me, because we're all reflections and we're relating to each other. So I wanted to share with you this evening briefly a couple of things that were brought to me through my guides today, my meditations, and through the sacred Sirius symbols. And so I love how all of the information comes through us. And the very first thing that I wrote in this journal, the very first page, was something that I heard through Abraham Hicks, through Esther Hicks, channeling the energy, the entity that is Abraham. And the words that I heard her repeat were, and then you can put your name in there, I, Wendy, see and draw to me through divine love those beings who seek enlightenment through my process. The sharing will elevate us both now. And that was written by a being named Theo. I'm not sure exactly when that is. I'd have to do a little bit more research on that as well. But I immediately related to that statement because in yesterday's video we talked about sharing and the storytellers and how we're all storytellers. We're all that is telling its own story of its existence, its expression. And when we say I am something, it's not that I am a light language linguist, I am a channeler, I am this, I am a mom, it's that we are multidimensional beings, and how we express ourselves in any given parallel reality, timeline on Earth, however you want to look at it, we're relating to ourselves, we're relating to each other, we're relating to our physical bodies. And expressing, so we do not need to define ourselves, because I believe that then that narrows the definition of what I am and who I am, but it is how I'm expressing my highest joy and excitement of my reflection of Source right now. And for all of us, that changes and it's fluid. And yet, as we share and express through our processes, we elevate each other's frequency because we're relating to each other. And when we relate to each other, we feel connected. And this Syrian Sacred Circuit, today's date, as I'm recording this, is the 5th of February, 2019, which date, if you add up all the numbers, equals the number 10. And so for me, I immediately saw the number 10 and the number 1, if we reduce it down to number 1. And the Sacred Circuit brought to us through Bashar from Sirius for the number 10 is relate. And one of the things that I do is I write these scripts, and symbols as an activation for myself, for connecting and relating to my star families and all of you, my soul families. And this was just one of the ones that I had done, and I did not date it, actually, but I was guided to share this specific one with you. And actually when I drew it, it didn't even feel like it was finished, but I never did go back to it. So somehow this was relating to the idea of relating to different star systems. And when I was drawing it, I did feel as if it was many star beings and systems connecting in a centered place. And so it was interesting that I would bring that. Well, it's not, because I'm also one who loves to express the idea of harmony, and by way of synchronicity and us receiving synchronicities, when we go with the flow and relate to each other and trust and relate to ourselves and our body and our mind and our spirit, and when we trust and follow our intuitions and our guidance, we relate to ourselves and our and how we relate to ourselves and the reality around us changes our frequency, therefore allowing us to relate in higher and higher and different, more expanded levels, and to see ourselves truly as connected to all things. And this is a way for me to allow you and me and all of us to connect to these other aspects, these other fractals of ourselves. If we can see ourselves as that being of unlimited other beings having other existences in what we might call another timeline or parallel reality, but as a completely different being, as its own being. Yet these are our star families and our soul families. So I'm just kind of flipping through a few of these symbols that I had written. Now this one actually was done on 10/26/2018, equaling 11. And tomorrow, if this is already for tomorrow for you, tomorrow's date is equaling 11. My birth path being 11 and the master portal number 11, I'm deeply also connected to that idea. So today, again, now we're in the one and the one energy. So the other symbol that I was guided to then express with you today of the sacred circuits is center, which is number 1. And I resonate very highly with the number 11, but also the number 1 and 1 and 111. I have a great deal of synchronicities with all of my home addresses where I've lived, where they all equal 111 or 11 or 1111. So that I relate to that idea, that expression, that number. And so, and each of us, though, will relate to different numbers in different times in different incarnations, if you'd like to call it that. Each of us expressing ourselves in a different way, in a different manner, in a different time. And since I'm here, one of you had asked and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the person that asked, right? It just occurred to me that they asked about this particular symbol. I think it was this one where they said the 3 circles at the corners. And this one is the last symbol that was given to us, manifest. And the 3, and the last of the 15 symbols. Because at the very end is the idea of the complete manifestation. And to return to the idea of Bashar, and the event in the video, originally when it was brought to us, I'm going to go back to the other image. When it was brought to us, we were guided to look at the images in specific order at that time. Like, and it didn't start in order with 1. I think I'm trying to even remember, it might have even started with the number 8, with flow. And we were given the instructions at the time to look at them for a number of times a day, for a specific number of hours, but in a specific order, not for a specific number of hours, but, and not to look at them any longer, than a few minutes. But as the years have progressed, and I relate I'm deeply connected and relate to the Sirius star system because I have a lot of connections with them for those that are new to my channel, and they have instructed me because I've asked them, do they need to be still in that order? And what they've explained to me is, because we are new now, our frequency, our complete Schumann resonance and our global frequency, collective consciousness, human collective consciousness has raised in such a way that it's no longer necessary for them to be presented in that particular order, because we, as the teachers and the way-showers, are trusting with that, relating to that information, that on a particular day, in a particular way, to share them, that to trust that and relate to that information, and trust that the time you're being guided to share it is the right time for exactly the frequency of the people who will be watching it in that particular now, which happens to be any of you that are watching this. So that is the whole idea, that it's amping up this idea of the master level, and that when you are centered, you're relating. And when you're more centered, you can relate to your body. You can ask it what it needs. For years now, I have trusted my body to tell me what color to wear, what foods to eat every day, what vitamins and minerals, and I don't take supplements unless I'm guided to. And I was reminded the other day, Brad Johnson posted about his body had guided, and I think it was this ashwagandha. That's just a particular brand I bought, and because I did a little research and he was guided to take this. And it was interesting because so was I quite some time ago. Actually, the bottle's almost empty, and this was 60 tablets. So a couple months ago, I was also guided for this. And I don't even take it every day. I only take it when I'm guided to take it. So for what it's worth. And I'm not saying run out and buy it. What I'm saying is listen to your body. Relate to your body and listen. One of the other things that they had guided me to was dandelion root. And dandelion root tea. So for specific things that my body needed at a particular time. And again, I don't use them every day, only as I'm guided to. So one of the things that they wanted me to talk about today about relating to ourselves is for today's cup of inspiration. Today's cup of inspiration came to me from the Emissaries of the Light Collective this morning in my meditation. And they said to me, I was thinking about creating crisis and how we create crisis. We always create crisis in order for us to be pushed to change. And sometimes when we resist and we resist and we resist and we don't create change intentionally, and we let it build up, and we're not seeing clearly, we create a crisis in our lives as a catalyst for change. And so I was thinking about this, about creating crisis and how we create crisis, and how even I grew up in a very dysfunctional, addictive, and then this is a chain of my family, of me realizing too that my part in helping us break the chain of these addictive behaviors and patterns. And part of what my job is, and when I say my job, but one of the expressions, one of the things that I've learned through understanding the power of these light languages is the ability to center us and allow them to filter through and help us identify and then be aware by way of synchronicity from our guides, the information to receive it, to break down and break the chains of these patterns and behaviors. And so in my family life, which is typical for in a dysfunctional situation where there's perhaps alcohol, alcohol or drug use, the parents, or the individuals, it doesn't have to be a parent. It was just, in my case, it was a parent. But we all do this. We create a crisis in order for us as a catalyst of change. And if things are going well and we fall back into this belief system of failure, not good enough, if something triggers that, we create a crisis in order as the catalyst for change. And so today they said to me, if you can create the crisis, you have the power to create the cure. If you can create the crisis, you have the power to create the cure. And I, for one who have created my own crises over the years, for my own as a catalyst for change, can truly relate to this. Crisis is a catalyst to clarification. And crisis can be and is cathartic. Think of how we feel after we have a crisis, or when we have a global crisis or a community crisis. We come together, we relate to each other, and it's cathartic. It creates change. And I even found my button today that I was guided in my medicine bag. Create change. We create crisis in order to create change. Whether it's a physical crisis, whether it's an emotional crisis, whether it's an illness, whether it's a circumstance, our reality does not happen to us. It happens for us, by our frequency, what we put out. And in conjunction with our guides who see things from a different perspective, much like the parental perspective of, we have to watch you skin your knee and know that you're going to learn from that, or burn your hand, or and that you will begin to trust your own intuition. You will no longer need to judge a situation. You'll be able to trust by your own intuition to discern whether or not something is good or good for you or not. And it's okay to even experience the crisis as the catalyst for change, and to stop judging ourselves for it. But yet now, in this age of Aquarius, we understand we no longer have to create these crises in order to catalyst change. We don't have to do that anymore. We don't need to create that frequency in order for us to facilitate change with us, because now we know we have this power that, just like that, like moving into a channeling state. As soon as you are moving into that state of doing something you love and that state of bliss, you stop aging. And it creates a whole catalyst for a whole new parallel reality, moment by moment, billions of times per moment. As you begin to understand, you don't need to create the frequency of the crisis. Your frequency changes, and then the types of experiences, not to say there won't be challenges, but the types of experiences and challenges that you will be experiencing are no longer crisis mode, because they don't have to be. And the animal collectives that I wanted to share with you all today that were relating to me were the Crow Collective and the Dove. So as soon as and especially the last couple of days, but as soon as I woke up, that's exactly what I've been hearing the last couple of mornings, is the crows and the doves. And then I was hearing the dove and the owl. And how each of them carries a different message, a different frequency, and yet centers us in a new frequency. And the Avian Collective is here right now. So they're saying that's part of what they do because of all of the bird song and the harmonic frequencies that each one of them are different. I actually hear birds outside right now. Very interesting. So I just connected with that right now. I was just relating, and how each one of those creates a different frequency and creates change within us. Each one of them has come with a different frequency in order for us to relate to. And within those bird songs, within those frequencies, they, in agreement with the blueprint reality of this creation, of this place, Earth, this playground, they have agreed to bring those light codes of information through the bird song and create a different frequency in order to create a catalyst for change within us. I was just grabbing which cards that they were guiding me to this evening. Mushona Kayan Koya Sanasota Shinokoyama Ina Koyo Boshana Senaguriana. Ishino Sunama Kirikoris Super the cushion of such a inch Sunake. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, of course, I was just thinking about everybody's comments, and I was just thinking about how excited I was to see all of these wonderful new faces and comments. And if any of you, what I really have been wanting to do is a live comment, kind of comment Q&A exchange live thing. And because we're in different places all over the world, I wanted to see if you guys had time frame suggestions. For example, I'm in the Central Standard Time Zone in the United States. And so a good time for me would be, you know, during my daytime or, or maybe in the later afternoon or in the evening. So I can, I'm trying to figure out what's the best time to catch everybody, like in Europe and overseas. And so I was thinking about that time frame that if, for those of you in Europe are about 6 or 7 or more hours later than I am. So if I did it in the morning, like at 11 in the morning, a lot of you could catch it in the evening. But then also, of course, though, then there's those of you who are here in the States who might want to catch it. So that's what I was trying to balance is maybe have maybe one at one time and one at another time. So I thought I would throw that out there too to see what's the best time frames for people in general, to see what gets the most reaction, and then I know that that's a good time to focus on having and relating to a good time for everybody. And if you are new to my channel, my languagesoflights.com webpage, you can learn a little bit about me, how I came to find light languages, and what I've discovered about them, and my services page, a little bit, a few different services about, I can do one-on-one sessions, pre-recorded videos, audios, and I would include like symbols that I receive for you, activation symbols. The full sessions include like all of anything, and then there are also sessions that are broken down into specific focuses, whether it's just the oracle, just the light languages. Do you want to start speaking them? Do you already speak them? That kind of thing. And where do you want to send that focus? And I'm working on people who are interested in taking it steps further and doing like kind of like mentorship kind of things, where there's doing several like a batch of sessions to take it to the next level. And also doing group sessions is I thought would be a lot of fun, also because I love doing live events, and I've done lots of group sessions, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to do like group sessions where up to so you can gather like up to 6 of your friends and get together and do just oracle readings and light language activations and questions. And if you have questions for me about my journey, how I came to all this, what does it mean, sharing my symbols, if you want to share your symbols. So many of you now share your symbols with me personally, looking for interpretations, and so we can talk about that. That's one of the things that I was guided to do in the session with the light language sessions, is to help us identify what your symbols mean and where they're from, and what information we get together in those. So Archangel Michael, I am grateful for the strength and courage Archangel Michael brings to my life. And this card has actually come up quite a bit recently. And I want to say to you guys, this is very interesting that this came up, because another family member of mine has been having some struggles. And I was thinking back to my own times when I was having addictive behavior patterns and things that I wanted to change in my life, a catalyst for change, and how I was literally weeping on the back porch one day saying, I need to change this and I need your help. And I called in Archangel Michael and I said, I'm ready. And I saw the the thing, like whether it's the belief pattern, whether it's a habit, whether it's the way you think, the way you act, whether it's being tied to something, an unhealthy job, is it an unhealthy relationship, is it an unhealthy place to live, and seeing the etheric cord of that being still attached to me and wanting so badly to let it go that I picture it as the umbilical cord, and I asked, please bring your beautiful sword and sever this cord because I'm ready to let it go. And so I find this extremely beautifully synchronistic, and yellow is the color that came up for me today, you guys. And yellow, I don't know if you can see it. I've got my little tank top on, but it's a yellow and gray because they told me this morning to wear yellow. I even, for a little levity, got my little yellow ducky here. I even have a duck crossing sign out here. From one of the places I lived, and actually that place that I lived, the digits equaled 11, and and again, the Avian Collective, and look at depicting feathers, angels. I am grateful for the strength and courage Archangel Michael brings to my life. Whenever you need, instead of creating the crisis and waiting till you get sick, waiting till you're on your knees. But even if you're already there, ask Archangel Michael to assist you with his beautiful sword, their beautiful sword. I always hesitate to say he and her because they are a they, really. It's more of a collective energy, reflecting itself, expressing itself as a him, as this idea that, and the back of this card, I just wanted to show you guys this deck. This is the Conscious Spirit deck. And I absolutely love this. And the number is 7. So here we have another, 1 and 6 is 7. So we have another number 7. The expression of the number of spirit. And I just saw 3707. And I am actually just, all of these cards flipped over exactly where they are. So I'm just going to release, which is number 10, you guys. Release. And we just got this card a couple of days ago. Number 10, today's date, release. I release that which does not serve my higher purpose, and with gratitude and love. As we relate to one another and we relate our stories, we help each other release this stuff. And there we are, number 10, release. Oh. And number 12, I reach out my hand and my heart to connect to and unite all of humanity, which equals number 3, the trinary, the tree of life. Yes, no sopokoshana setekana koapalaku. Sheto sono umakia sono soto koyashana solukum bokoshana salukuamba kashana sotekia. Shena shona koyamba sono somono manakali konchka kiasana sopala kaya unana kaikia. Shisha shona te koyamba kusana soto matana natata kaliata. And in honor of the Avian Collective, this is also the animal spirit messages from your animal spirits. And I even love the texture of these cards. I know I always say that. So, because they're like little ribs, and they always remind me of little parallel realities. And on the back is avian, the water bird, water and land. And as we relate to each other, it doesn't matter whether we're on spirit or earth, no matter which way you flip it, we all relate. And when we are centered within this divine space of ourselves, this divine spirit, when we are centered, we can relate to all of our parallel realities and receive information, and they are relating to us. That's the other thing. You're not just channelers, you're being channeled. So if you want to connect with your guides, ask, how can I relate to my guides? How can I see you? How can I hear you more clearly? And how, as I release these things that don't serve me anymore, and what a perfect set of cards with Michael. I reach out my hand to connect. As I relate to Michael, I relate to my angels. I release that which does not serve my higher purpose. And I ask Michael to help me with that. The penguin, the period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. And I've got the black and the white and the gray, and the yellow. And I just, actually, and today I just put this up, this little, my yellow, because I love the pattern in here. It's just some fabric that I used for a quilt a long time ago. And I just love the pattern. And so I hung it up there because my guide said to put out yellow energy today. And thank you to those of you who, to the comment I received today also about me being sunshine, and that's what my mom calls me, her ray of sunshine. So hi, Mom. If you're watching today, this one is for all of us. Oh, see, my cards are falling all over the place. There's my penguin. This is my music stand that I use for my I use it for multi-purposes. So thank you all for being with me once again today. For this cup of inspiration. And remember, if you can create the crisis, you have the power to create the cure. But now as we relate to each other, we know we don't need to create the crisis anymore, that we can relate to each other and share. In unconditional love, in kindness, in compassion. And I just love how Spirit speaks to us as I look down. The dog, as we just left the Chinese year of the dog, we just crossed over and left the year of the dog. The symbol of service, the symbol of Sirius, of humanity, the service to humanity, as in the dog star and the Canis Major star system. Your loyalty and faithfulness is misplaced by serving too many masters. You must serve yourself. You are your own master. And the most intimate and unconditional loving relationship you need to have is with you. And look, you guys, look at the color. The background is yellow, blue chakra, yellow and blue. Look, yellow and blue. And this is from my friend Pam, and I hung my lunar calendar up here. And she did send me the link of from the person who created it. So I'll show it to you a little close. I'll show it to you guys close up. I'll grab it next time so you can see it close up. But it's got the entire lunar calendar on it for the entire year. And if you're new to my channel, one of my favorite things to do is explore Wendy's World of Wonder with my canine companion, Ranger, my explorer. He's my explorer to the stars. He's been and is with me in many, many parallel realities as many different types of animals, not just a dog. It's just that that is in this now, in this reality, how he's experienced, how he's chosen to have his experience, and me relating to him. And he has been a catalyst for me for change. And truly, even even his crises that he has had with his physical stuff has been a catalyst for change for me. And meeting him once again in this life has been a huge catalyst for change for me, and has been truly cathartic. Yes, so as we have just transitioned from the Chinese Year of the Dog into the new Chinese New Year of the Earth Pig, it's all about abundance, prosperity, self-love, kindness. I'm thinking about Venus right now, so I've got Lady Venus right here, all about love, passion, beautiful things, beautiful food, beautiful spaces and places and faces. So in this idea of one and number 10 and 11, 111, tomorrow's date, because it's already going to be for tomorrow for you guys. So I'm just going to make this for 10 and 11. 111, because that's one of my numbers. And the number 3, because 1 + 1 = 3. And in alchemy, we know that 1 + 1 makes something brand new. And when we relate to each other and we realize this is the sacred circuit for number 11, realize. And isn't it funny how each of these symbols are a direct reflection, upside down or right side up? Because when we realize and we relate to ourselves, it's a mirror, the mirror of God, the mirror of Source, Ileana, from the Elohim. And this was, once again, an extra long video, so thank you, all of you, for being with me and indulging me and spending all of this time with me, whether it's just a few minutes or whether it's the whole video. You are here to hear exactly the pieces of the puzzle you need to hear just for you. Mahero koyana ishana sotoshena kiliano nevasono kialaki ishana lesete sena ina. So see, I just follow my passion. My dinner is still waiting for me. It's actually been sitting there on the stove. I just had to share this with you tonight. Nia somo koshana setali kiama sote shina sono ikiasana soba or shana ilaki nanti sote. Because whether it's today or tomorrow, it's always going to be now when you're watching this. Inakia asano sono akiasano soba koshana sete kiliana. Eshenase indakelo mora alaki ananana kakora. Shinosota kiliasana senakalia toyachana. Shinakia. And as I celebrate the elementals, the Elohim, the angels, the archangels, thank you for being with us this evening and lending your energy, your guidance, your support, your unconditional love. We feel your energy through these codes, these symbols, these scripts, these light languages. Nimariana I ama ishana kola koma sana seto. Mina malako malako sana shala kola malako karkoshanate. Ete sina samana kola kola kola. Mesena tilkia sana sala ima la kora nasha. Misana kiananta kilo sana se. And we are Emily. Niamo oshana kaliano saman sata kiliakoa. Shima ina kiliasana sata kilio malakola sana se. Mishana sento oraka sana salakwa. Nishano koya malakona malakonana. An uncountable number of beings, physical and non-physical, whose highest excitement is to share in this exchange and relate with you and share our energy and receive yours, receive your teachings from your experiences. As each and every one of you relate to yourselves, your higher selves, the higher versions of yourselves, and more importantly, your heart, your physical beingness. When you experience the appreciation and bliss of your physical beingness, your physical beingness ceases to age, for it is in complete harmony with your core true vibration, which is ageless and timeless, and capable of experiencing itself simultaneously in billions of parallel realities in which you are relating to in every given moment. That is how powerful you are, that you are so powerful that you have come here to experience powerlessness, ingratitude, struggle, strife, giving your power away, only to relate and rediscover that you have already hold and contain and have access to absolutely everything. Everything you need to do exactly what you need to do, when you need to do it, how you need to do it, in the way you want to express yourself. You are not just what you do. What you do is an expression, and only a small expression of who you are. Do not define yourselves or limit yourselves by what you do. Express yourselves more by doing more and more of that which brings you joy. And in that centeredness is where you find timelessness, limitlessness, and where you can relate to absolutely anything and everything and everyone and everywhere. Feel this yellow burning fire, this holy fire burning within you in this age of Aquarius. As you feel the Aquarian fire burning, burning, into the ashes, into the embers of love and the fire of all that you are, the beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you, that are not a part of this new vibrational frequency of that which you are. And understand that when you change, it is an utter and complete change. And when we say complete, we mean complete molecule by molecule, ember by ember, ash by ash, molecule, atom, light particle is brand new. It's in a new vibrational configuration that no longer contains the vibration of that which you have allowed to release. And we are more than complete and more perfect than ever before. For in every moment we are perfect and you are perfect, and yet every moment you become more perfect. Because you are expressing a more perfect version of that light.